Server actions are used for executing your business logic on the server side. In this video, I will show you how to implement server actions and also make them reusable. So this is my Service Studio. I'm inside a reactive web application. Let's start by creating a screen. Perhaps I can do some maths calculations. Compute, that's the screen name I'm giving using the blank template. Let's give the title as well. Maybe I can do add and multiply. So for that, I will need two numbers, var1 of type integer. I'm going to copy and paste the var2, var3, and var4. var3 will be the sum, and var4 will be the product. That's the multiplication. Where can we display this? Perhaps I'll start creating the screen. So we'll have inputs here. Those two numbers can be keyed in there, and maybe a button to execute, and then maybe a couple of expression to display sum that gets displayed here, and product. How about we display them in the next line? So something like this, just using the keyboard enter key. It comes there. A couple of errors that you see here because I've not bound the input fields with the variables. So let's do that. var1 and the input 2 is for var2. Then we'll also rename the button name to just say compute because we're going to do both add and multiply there. I don't want to call it add or multiply because it's doing both things there. What can we also do is to make sure we are on the server side. Let me add one more variable here to say time now. Okay, and that will be of type time. This is what we can display here. Let me bolden it. So with this, we can provide logic. So we can go ahead and click on the button that creates a screen action here. And from the screen action, we are able to create a server action. When you use this widget, it tells you and shows you all the server actions that you have there on the logic tab. Right now in my application, because it's a fresh new one, I don't have a lot of server actions in there. So I can go ahead and create a new one. And then within server action, I can give it a name. Let's say it's called compute. And then it can have those parameters. Parameter number 1. And let's just copy the same. This is number 1, number 2, number 3 will be the sum, and number 4 will be the product. Cool. And then we will use the assignment operator. By the way, important step, since I was copying pasting, all of them got created as input parameters. I don't want these two to be output parameter actually. So I'm just converting them to output. Okay. Then using the assignment operator, I can provide the value, calculate the value for the sum, which is number 1 plus number 2, and for product, which is number, oops, let me open it, number 1 times number 2. Cool, so this will return this. Then thereafter, from our calling function, we can just provide the value of var1 to number 1 and var2 to number 2. Now, for the time field here, so basically at this moment, we are able to calculate sum and product both on the server side. To make sure that we are on the server, what I want to show you is the how I will use the time now field. So for this also, let me add one more output parameter, and we call it server time. Okay, make sure it's of the same data type. And then in the variable there, which is in the compute, let's also return this value. Server time is equals to the current time. And then in the end, when we compute everything, let's do the assignments. So finally, this compute server action will return us the sum and product, which we have to assign to the screen variable because screen variables are the one that we are showing on the screen. So sum will be compute.sum, product will be compute.product, and the time now will be the server time. And let me just make sure everything is okay. Looks okay. We'll go ahead and publish it. While it's publishing, let me also give you details on the logic tab. So when you create the server actions, they all got created here in the logic tab, server actions. So it's there now. Let's launch it. Log in with my account. And there you go. So if I give you, let's say 2 and 3, I'm expecting 2 plus 3, 5 and 6. That's there. And you can notice the time here. You will notice that my time at the laptop is 1:44 and this is 5:44. The reason being, this is coming from the server. The timing at the server, which I think in my case happens to be somewhere in Europe, it's like 5:44 in the morning. It's very early in the morning there, and here it's afternoon. This proves that this is executing at the server side. So with this, that's how you execute, implement, and execute the server actions. There's a few more things that I want to tell you. Now, first thing is you can make server actions reusable by selecting the server actions and making these properties as public to yes. So once you publish this, it can be accessible from other application. Second thing is it's a best practice basically. When you have, let's say, several server actions to access or to execute, you don't call them from screen one by one. What I mean is, imagine if compute was this, and let's say I had another one for division and subtraction, right? Division. Okay, let's say for simplicity case, let's say it has all the input and output parameters in there. I'm not implementing it. So if I now drag and drop this here, what the application will do, it will make two server calls. First, it will call the compute, get the response back, and then it will call division and then call the response back. Instead of doing this, because if you have too many of these things, it will slow down the performance. This is not a good design practice. So instead of doing this, what you should do is, wrap this server action into the other one. Okay, so at least from the client to server, there is only one call, and that's how you can improve the performance of applications. The last step, let me just get rid of division. I just meant it to be there for example. I'm publishing the application because I want to show the reusable part, which get affected by when I turn on this property public to yes. So I'm just publishing it, and nothing changes in there. But I'm switching over to another application, which happens to be a mobile application. So in this case, if I have to compute something again, in my use case, I can now click on Manage Dependency button, which is this plug icon on top. Look for my web app where that edge logic is, which is here. When I select it, it shows me all the reusable stuff there, and it shows me the compute logic in there with all the input and output parameters there. If I want to use it, I can just add a reference like this, and then that particular function becomes available on the server actions here under logic of the mobile application, and then it's here. If I want to now use it, I just have to open any piece of logic there in the application and drag and drop this, provide the input parameters, and I should get back the response. Thanks for watching.